earlier this month, you may remember in Las Vegas, former President Donald Trump said that he'll work to eliminate taxes on tips if he's elected to a second term. Of course, that proposal would require approval from Congress. And Trump's Republican allies on the Hill have already been quick to show that they're willing to do so, at least introducing legislation. Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz and Thomas Massie are pushing a proposal in the House that would do just that. And Senator Ted Cruz and Steve Daines, who is the head of the NRSC, responsible for electing Republicans to the Senate, they're also introducing some legislation in the Senate as well. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins us now. And Ed, I should note you are fresh off the plane from Las Vegas, where you were talking to people. So thanks for being with us and timely for this conversation. I want to get to what you found there in a moment, but let's first start with what exactly would this do? And this is federal income, right?
So if you're a waiter, a bartender, a bellman, somebody in the service industry who gets tips for the work you do, your federal income and payroll tax would conceivably no longer exist. Although looking at the two proposals that were put out this week by House and Senate Republicans, there's actually a little difference. That's the kind of money overall that funds Social Security, Medicare, and other social safety net programs, so they'd take a hit. It's believed if it were to be enacted the way Trump is proposing it, it'd be about a $250 billion hit to federal revenue over the next decade, which is sizable, but not that big when you consider that the Trump tax cuts that are set to expire next year are $4 trillion. So a drop in the bucket compared to all that. But it's a popular campaign season proposal to drop suddenly in a state where 1 in 4 private sector workers are in the service industry. And the idea that they'd get to keep conceivably thousands of dollars is music to their ears.
Yeah, I mean, and you were talking to people in the service industry. Obviously, candidates go to Vegas all the time, not to play slots, but to talk to these kinds of people, because this is such a coveted group. Had they heard about this proposal? I know you and I talk a lot about whether voters are paying attention right now, and what are they thinking about it?
You might say the candidates go to the roll the dice. Or maybe not play the slots. Here all week. They had heard about it. And take a listen to what one bar owner and one bartender think of it.
For my workers, it definitely would help. We are a small business, so it's not like you're dealing with these big restaurants where it would impact them a lot. But I mean, as for myself, I think it would be a little less paperwork for myself. For my employees, maybe they would enjoy it, they would like it.
Yeah, I think it is a great idea.
Makes you more likely to vote for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which you were going to do anyway.
Yep, it just solidifies it.
So Lori there is a good example of somebody who, on some nights, makes hundreds of dollars in tips. Might be through the credit card, might be in cash. So conceivably, over the course of the year, you're racking up tens of thousands in a really good year, you know, potentially 6 figures in tips. The question would be, okay, I get to keep that money now and it's not taxed. She asked, how would I be able to prove to a bank or to a loan officer that I have that money?
How do you report
if it wasn't reported on my W-2, right?
Yeah.
How do I prove that I have the money to buy that car if it's not on paper? So would it have to be? And this was only after sort of just talking about it ever so briefly with us that it kind of dawned on her, wait a second, it might mean less paperwork, but it might conceivably mean less purchasing power if I can't prove to a bank or to a car dealer or to a broker that I can buy, you know, that new appliance or a new car or a new house.
Yeah, harder to prove that income, right? So you mentioned too kind of the reason that Trump was talking about this. Tell us a little bit about kind of where you were in Nevada and why this group of voters essentially is so critical to both candidates who are competing for the working.
I mean, they're 1 in 4 service workers or 1 in 4 private sector workers in the state. Biggest concentration of service workers in the country, obviously they're in the Vegas area. They're women, minority, young, old, cut across the spectrum. He's looking to cut into Joe Biden's margins, right? Well, what better way to do that than go for blue-collar workers who are inclined to vote for Democrats? The Culinary Workers Union, for example, that organizes a lot of them, says this Trump idea is unrealistic, that they think that their members are smart enough to know the difference between, as they said, real solutions and wild campaign promises from a convicted felon. The Biden campaign kind of scoffs at this idea as well. But it is potentially good politics to at least demonstrate this. Democrats would also turn around and say, you could have done this during the 4 years you were president. You could have joined us in asking that the minimum wage for tipped workers get increased, which actually would do more over time. Instead, you're having House and Senate Republicans propose pretty thin ideas here, 3 pages from Ted Cruz, 6 pages from Thomas Massie and Matt Gaetz. And we'll see. One thing to keep in mind, the House version would cover all taxes that any worker makes. Notably, the Cruz version talks only about cash tips. What I learned from Lori and what you would hear from others is that these days, most of your tips are coming through the credit card when you sit there at the cash register or when you get handed the thing while you're finishing up your meal. Cash, maybe not as much. In this case, Cruz is saying just cash.
Oh, interesting distinction.
There is some debate among Republicans. Democrats mostly reject it outright.
And we'll see if Republicans even sign on to this, because they're really concerned about, adding to the deficit. Ed O'Keefe, great reporting. Thank you.
We'll
stay tuned for your coming pieces.